Hello, hi, welcome. I'm Symbiosis, and if I could be honest for a moment, I'm not quite feeling Fourze despite what the title would have you believe. But that doesn't mean I don't have anything nice to say about it. Despite mine, what I can assume is the majority of the fandom's opinion on Fourze's writing, there is one character in particular that doesn't quite get the respect he deserves, in my opinion. And instead of pretending like you didn't read the title or look at the thumbnail, I'm just gonna jump into why Gentaro Kisaragi is my favorite primary writer so far. Just a quick disclaimer, I have not finished Fourze.
This man is overgasped!
I will get round to finishing it, and it's not like I'm still in the beginning part. By the time I'm writing this, I'm on episode 29, so unless something drastic changes, which given how it's going, I doubt it, I feel like I've seen enough to gauge Gentaro's character. To preface this, I want to talk about superheroes as a whole. I've made it no secret that I love superheroes. I've loved them since I was able to retain memory, and that love has only developed and evolved over time. Hell, I wouldn't have gone into Kamen Rider in the first place if it wasn't about superheroes. And like with any kind of admiration for a genre, I've thought way too much about what makes it work. I mean, the fact that some of these characters are worth billions by themselves despite being older than commercial color TV should really be a testament to their legacy. Now, if you were to ask me what a core component is to a memorable superhero, I'd argue that it'd be a balance between being goofy and earnest.
You serious?
I'm dead serious. Every long-lasting superhero, whether big or small, is inherently silly. Don't believe me? Watch, I'll prove it. Alien that looks exactly like a human gets limitless superpowers from a specific sun yet loses them to a green rock. Billionaire trust fund orphan dresses up as his trauma to beat up people with mental illnesses. High school nerd gets bitten by a nuclear arachnid on a field trip and becomes a vessel for a multiversal spider god. Too easy? I can keep going. Kid gets caught up in a chemical spill and gets trained by a blind elderly homeless ninja on how to smell someone's identity. Uses the power of jewelry and imagination to fight crime as a space cop. Demon comprised of solely primary colors yet speaks only in rhyme. Cosmic level entity yet looks like an albino stripper. Is canonically 1.6 meters and willingly chooses this haircut. You look into my dead soulless eyes and tell me not a single Reddit user nor Discord mod joke entered your mind when looking at this outfit. Man's primary superpower is gun. Now that my point has been thoroughly made, I just want to say that being goofy isn't a bad thing.
Huh?
In fact, I'd argue that because these characters are inherently goofy, it makes their earnestness more poignant. I think earnestness is a word. At least that's what Google told me. Anyway, when a character is inherently goofy, your expectations of them are lowered, so when they have an earnest moment, it hits so much harder. I'm sure everyone has a scene in mind about the time when the comic relief character in a story got serious. Or in the case of this argument, the goofy character had an earnest moment. The other component about making a memorable superhero is one I feel that has been lost somewhere in the past 15 to 20 years, and that is the drive to save everyone, including the villains. I'm sure people are going to disagree with me on this, but they're just wrong. Cry more. I'm willing to bet saying a superhero's purpose is to save people is not a hot take. And like it or not, the villain is more often than not also a person, and thus also needs to be protected and given the opportunity to reform like Plastic Man. What, you didn't know Plastic Man is a reformed bad guy? Oh yeah, his origin is that he was part of a gang of thieves when a robbery goes wrong and gets shot, falling into an unknown acid, boy doesn't this sound familiar, and getting superpowers. Yet instead of becoming a supervillain, was given the opportunity to become a good guy, and is now low-key one of the strongest assets the Justice League has. Oh, but that's just one character, it's not like it happened to anyone else. Lobo, Elektra, Star Sapphire, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Ravager, Emma Frost, the Maximoff Twins, Marrow, Rogue, Catwoman, Black Adam, Songbird, Earth 616 Prowler, Red Hood, Wonder Man, Harley Quinn, Venom, and many more. Hell, it arguably happens more often in Kamen Rider given how Gaiman Build alone turn out. Forget this was a Kamen Rider video, didn't you? Well, now we can finally get into the title of the video. Gentaro, in my humble opinion, perfectly exemplifies these two components. He's a goofier protagonist compared to other writers, yet still has a lot of earnest moments. And that is exemplified in his deep level of care for people that choose to become Zodiarcs. Now there have been other writers that have shown these qualities before and since, with special mention to Hino Eiji from O's. It's just that with the mere fact that Gentaro's goal is to befriend everyone, coupled with his adamant initiative to not only redeem them but also push them into being the best versions of themselves, makes him an exceptional protagonist for a superhero story. And my favorite primary Kamen Rider. So far. Yeah, you're probably wondering why I've added the so far part, and that's because I haven't seen every Kamen Rider season. I haven't even seen every Heisei season. In fact, I've only seen half of Heisei Phase 2, but much like Fourze, I'll get round to it. Who knows, I might be on another season or even era by the time you're watching this. Well, that's it for me. Let me know what you thought about this video with a like, dislike, comment, maybe subscribe while you're at it, and yeah, thanks for hanging out. Oh, and to anyone that thinks I have an idealistic view on superhero media in general, yeah, you're right. It's fiction and the real world is horrible, so you'll have to excuse me that the genre about people with superpowers and costumes fighting nutjobs with superpowers and costumes doesn't reflect the real world's nuanced conflict between good and evil.